Hi, I'm Derek Mountfield and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to Toffee TV with me, Ped. Baz is back. He's on meds. If he says something, don't sue us, please, because he's off his cake, high as a kite, chasing the moon. He's out there, so...
I will be suing him for that.
But it will be entertaining. We've got Matt Jones with us. We've got Joe O'Reilly, who's here from the Irish Toffees. Been here all weekend. If he looks a little bit tired or dishevelled, it's because he's getting on a plane in about an hour. So, yeah, there you go. Thanks for being here, lads. Joe, thanks for coming down. I know you've been frantically sending me pigeon requests and all kinds to make sure you got on the show, so thank you for turning them. Also, he got us these amazing mugs. Amazing. We've been waiting for ages to someone... You know, we have guests on every week. We look after them. We give them Jag Mars bars, and they never really give us anything back.
It's like that.
Fair enough. But
cheers,
brilliant mugs. That's exactly just what we needed. But we will be crossing Baz. Well, we won't be crossing out. We'll be becoming light underneath it for when he wants a drink. So will you watch yourself, sunshine?
I'll be crossing that out and putting mates in. Moni from Redmen TV, who you've been getting likened to as brothers and stuff. Ever playing that?
No.
Jealousy.
It is, isn't it?
I'm glad. Well,
Like
you could add letters to that and the way you've been carrying on today. So we'll stop there. First of all, Merseyside Derby yesterday. Obviously, Matt. Initial thoughts when the team came out, because for me, I was massively disappointed. Obviously, we were missing John Stones and Seamus Coleman.
Yeah, well, they were the main ones, weren't they? And when you listen to Martinez after the West Brom game, and he was waxing lyrical about how they both probably could have played in the West Brom game, and that they were going to be in the team, and I think that would have gave us a real big boost, not just in terms of having someone resembling our best choice back, but going forward as well. Stones carrying the ball out, Seamus Coleman's energy, obviously. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment, but I think it was a bit of a weird performance. Really, it was quite patchy. You look at the individual plays, I don't think anyone really did too much wrong, but going forward didn't really click. Defensively we were sound, we were quite solid. I don't think Liverpool they were going to score really from open play, but it just didn't really align. There were lulls in the game, there were frantic spells in the game, and we just didn't really impose ourselves on the match at all, which was disappointing against what I thought was quite a poor Liverpool team. Yeah,
Joe, obviously, I think we've all been quite confident about this game coming up to the week. Did that team knock any of that confidence out here?
Like I said, with Stones and Coleman, it was kind of took away from the team at the back. But going forward, Delafeu I thought he was very poor yesterday. And after the midweek game, I said, this is it. He'll kick on. This is his time to start. Never happened. Gave the ball away so many times. Went missing, walked around. Didn't look interested really for me. Galloway, I thought was excellent again. Getting forward, bombing. But Browning on the other side, defensively he's sound. He just doesn't give us that going forward like Coleman. Coleman just can't wait to get forward every time he gets the ball. Browning, great defender, but doesn't like crossing the halfway line. And just good defender, but doesn't give us that flexibility. And then with him and Delafeu, there was nothing going down that side.
Baz, you were a little bit... Well, we were all disappointed by the performance, but I think you were a little bit more disappointed, I think, than, from what you've told me so far. You seem to be quite critical of the team performance.
Yeah, not so critical of the performance, but just disappointed that, we just didn't, we never seemed to perform against Liverpool like we know we can. We played Chelsea a few weeks ago, we were all over them, we were pacey, we got about them, we could have got, we should have beat them 5 or 6 that day.
Yeah.
We're playing against what I regard as a very average Liverpool side, who haven't been in good form, who were waiting, setting up not to get beat with 5 at the back almost. And we just never got going. I wouldn't say players didn't put the shift in, because I think they all put a shift in, but like Matt said before, there was no coherence. It just looked very un-Everton-like. There was too many long balls in the second half. And it just feeling of disappointment that
missed opportunity.
I'd say it's the first time I watched the game really, and I thought we've really missed Coleman and Baines in the full-back positions, and especially Stones as well. You mentioned there, I think Mori had quite a good game, and I feel like he was a bit wary after giving the ball away against West Brom, not to overdo anything. He got the ball and he was putting tackles and he was putting out to play straight away, getting it up the pitch and just doing the basics really well. And that's good, and it was good to see him doing those sorts of things. But when you've got Stones in there, you've got that little bit of extra composure at the back. You can bring the ball out. You can get the likes of Ross Barkley into the game a lot easier because you're playing through the lines. Then you're getting the ball simple. But we didn't really have that. And when you've got a team like Liverpool and the formation they play, everyone said it's 3 at the back. It wasn't. It was 5. It was 5 at the back. They had 5 defenders on the pitch. They sat deep, and we couldn't get round. They didn't have that natural width.
I give them credit in the first half because they nullified Deulofeu. Because Moreno, if Moreno would have sat as a 5, we would have had more to do, but he didn't. He pushed right up on Deulofeu, so there was no space for Gerrard. What he should have done was what he done. That ultimately led to our goal, and what he done at West Brom the other night, which was just get it out of his feet and put it in. He's got it there. This is the thing with Deulofeu. He's got the ability to really be one of the top players in the Premier League. He's got the pace to burn. He's got a few tricks, but he doesn't need tricks. He just needs to get it out of his foot and put it across. That defence is diabolical. That Sakho's not a footballer. Chan is a blagger. Skirtle's a decent defender, to be fair, and Klein's a decent defender. Moreno is the most Spanish-looking Scouser I've ever seen in my life.
Or the most Scouse-looking Spanish person.
It's like a Gerrard hybrid, isn't he? That's what he looks like.
Neil Mellor thrown in. Neil Mellor's just a little quirk. But Deulofeu, if he just got it out of his feet and put them across, without letting them settle, we'd have had loads of joy.
They did pay loads of respect to us, didn't they, Joe? The way they set up, I thought first half, you mentioned before the full-backs, that was the part of the problem, because we don't have Baines and Coleman, we don't have those natural attackers. The way they set up was to nullify us. But what that actually did as well, it helped them, because it was, at times, it was 3 against 1 at the back, and it meant they had another offensive player as well. And that kept us on our toes all the time, especially with so many changes in that back four.
The head was busy. But like I said, they just sat there, and like you said, they didn't want to lose. First and foremost, we're coming here, we're not going to lose. And they didn't.
Strange to see that from Liverpool, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I mean, it needs must. I mean, they're diabolical at the moment. They really, really are. And they're just playing counter-attack football, hoping they get a goal here, and if they get a goal, shut up shop, which they tried to do. But second half, we just came on. Lukaku got really, really going second half. Ball stuck to him for once. Usually, like you said earlier, the ball is bouncing. It stuck to him. He was busy. He was throwing himself around. But they just came for a draw.
That first half, Everton, for me, again, it's Naismith's a problem. For me, he's a problem because he's danger, and he nearly popped up with a goal off the free kick, and that's everything that Stephen Naismith is. He'll get into those areas, but when you're playing him on that left hand or as the left side of the three, I know Ross was dropping in there as well. We just had nothing going at them, and they had Emre Can booked for that little bit of handbags with Barkley. Imagine if you would have had, and we said this on things, would have had Kevin Morales or someone down that left hand side. Even Lennon would have done it to occupy Can, get up alongside Rom. Too often in this Everton makeup, we leave, and I'm critical of Lukaku sometimes in terms of work rate, but I would get disinterested if I was him as well, because for too many times, like you said, he's playing 1 against 3, and he ain't good enough to play 1 against 3. But if you've got 2 players up alongside him, he will tear it up, because the minute someone else occupies at centre half, it frees Rom up, and you're going to back him when he's getting chances.
But Cowley is that man. Cowley, I think, is that man. Maybe not for 90 minutes.
No.
But start Cowley, and then maybe after 60, 70 minutes, throw Naismith in there. Because he'll be hungry coming off the bench.
I think yesterday, though, I think what annoyed me yesterday more than anything was the second half. I thought they were there for the taking. And I thought when they took Deulofeu off, I know he didn't have a great game, but they were terrified of him. They were terrified just of him. They'd seen what he'd done in the week. They'd seen obviously the goal. The goal, I mean, it's just a good cross. Nothing else. It's a good cross, and they were terrified of him. And I just thought when we took him off, and it was a straight swap for Lennon, it was just one for another. But they just weren't that scared of Lennon. They've probably seen Lennon. They know what he's about, and they just weren't that bothered about him. They knew that he's the kind of player who'll just try and beat you with his pace, even though he didn't try that once really. And what I was looking for, as Baz was alluding to, then take Naismith on and throw another winger on the other side. And I think that's what he would have done against a Man United, against the Chelsea, against the City. But it's because it's Liverpool. It's that feeling in the back of your head that at 1-1, well, what if they go down the other end and score? How's that gonna affect the whole morale of the club, the whole morale of the fans, because of how much we put on it? And it is that psychological hurdle of getting over and saying, you know what, sod it, we're gonna go for it, we're gonna really have a go. And it was, the last 20 minutes, I would love to have seen us go and just go, we're going to do these. We're confident enough.
But look, in that first half an hour, weren't you looking at it thinking, this doesn't look like it. We were just kicking it anyway. They had the ball all the time. You're going, hang on, these aren't Barcelona. Let's get back. Forget about who they are. Get back to what we are. And I know John Stones makes a big difference because he brings it out, but that's no excuse for me. He hasn't been playing for the last couple of games. Get it down and play it. And Everton again fell into that trap, and they don't need to fall into that trap because they weren't up against much. And you can't, if you're going to do anything against Liverpool, it's in their final third. And we left Lukaku isolated too many times. Deulofeu, you're spot on, but he should have been left on. There's not a chance he should have been taken off. I know he wasn't having a great game, but he's one of those match winners that in just that one instance he can produce something.
I think I would have brought him off in that game. I think
Get out.
There were times in the match, in the first half in particular, I just didn't think it was going to be his day at all. Like there were times when it was for the goal actually. He gave the ball away really cheaply and they broke forward. Yeah. Mori came across and got the tackle. And in the second half, he was doing that a little bit more, and he was throwing his arms up in the air. He just looked like it had kind of gotten to him a little bit. It all kind of added up because he played the full 90 minutes against West Brom. Played against Reading as well, the full game there, and he played a big part in those sorts of games. He just looked like he was getting a little bit frustrated for me, and that in that sense, I thought Moreno was getting forward well, like you mentioned there, and Brown, and he had a good game, but he wasn't aggressive enough getting out to him for me, and to get Lennon on that side of the pitch, I think it just showed us up. But that's been the most frustrating thing for me this season, just on the flanks. I don't think we've got the right balance yet. It seems as though Naismith came in and did well on the left hand side, but he's kind of dropped off the boil again now. Deulofeu's come in. Did well on Monday, wasn't really in the game yesterday, but and players keep coming into those positions having a good start and then kind of tailing off.
But isn't that why players? But what I'd say as well is on Monday against West Brom Albion, and watch the full game back, Deulofeu was stinking the place out.
I thought he put a few really good balls in. Yeah,
I didn't think he played well at all. And then he gets we get the cross for the goal from Lukaku, and he goes up 10th, and then he grows and then they're terrified. And then he was going to be shut. He even said he was going to be dragged off.
Similar to the Reading game as well. He was a little bit shady in the. For me, I mean, I know you're saying yourself, Joe, you take him off. He is a potential match winner.
Yeah, but how long do you wait for that spark?
But sometimes when it comes, doesn't it?
We said that in the 90th minute.
We said that a lot of people said that about Lukaku in the West Brom game. A lot, if you've been looking at social media, take him off, drag him off. He's no good. Why do we keep playing? And then sometimes a spark comes from nothing. Yeah. I think we talking like this about the Swansea game as well. I think we've got enough security in the team to allow some players to see what happens. If Morales had been on the bench, I would have swapped like for like, but I would have liked Lennon to come on for Naismith and had a go on both sides, and maybe that could have freed up Deulofeu. Maybe the worry then would have been. That's what I'm saying. It's not a case of one or the other. It's just that I think if we brought Lennon on one side now, that they would have just gone, what are we going to do now?
But like Matt said, everything he tried yesterday just did not work.
Except for when he scored.
Except for the goal.
Exactly.
Well, that's see, this is the thing, is that people are very. Some players get away with it. I see Everton fans on Twitter, and some players are untouchable and get away with it, despite not. I mean, James McCarthy, at times I love him, but at times he's woeful, and people won't have a bad word said against him. Other times, players can't do anything. Deulofeu's one who people either love or they get frustrated with. You can't have too many match winners. Liverpool had nothing to worry about with Naismith, nothing. It's all down that right-hand side, Everton's left. It didn't matter what we done. So everything, the focus was on Deulofeu. You'd say, I'm not saying he should have stayed on for 90, but he got dragged off for 55 minutes or whatever it was. Left him on for another 20 and put Lennon on the other side. Emre Can then would have been occupied. He's on a booking. He's garbage on the ball anyway. He'd have been worried, I think. It might have freed Jerry. If Jerry's still not doing anything for another 15, then you go, right, we need to change it. Ped's spot on. We've got enough insurance. We had 8 players behind the ball. The front 3 are the ones who were going to do the damage. Barkley was playing very deep yesterday, he wasn't. He only really had the one run in the second half when he should have passed it and he had the shot. I just think at times, I think you're right, if we're playing a different side, I know them say, these meds must be great. I just think against a different team, he probably would have tried to put a little bit more pressure on them for another 20 minutes.
It's that mental head of Liverpool, isn't it, like we touched upon before, and if we were playing someone like Man United or whatever, he might have gone for a bit more, and that was the main frustration for me coming off the match, that it seems as though it took us an hour to realise, hold on, we can beat these. You know, the first 45 minutes or first half an hour, as often is the case in derby matches, was frantic. No one could really get the foot on the ball, but as it kind of went on and both teams settled into the game, it became apparent quite quickly that we were the better team. And the players seemed to realise that as it went on, but it was too late. Then he struggled. I think the heat took quite a lot of toll on the players as well. It was really hot there for October, which was quite hot, and the players were taking on a lot of water, and that seemed to slow the game down. There was a lull in it, and you mentioned before about when we were at our best against the likes of Chelsea, swarming around, getting loads of energy. That might have just took a little bit out of us on the day
the
as well.
referee stopping.
Wow, yeah.
Well, I was going to come on to the referee because you talk about water breaks and stuff taken out, and I think when that Lucas incident happened, that took it switched. It made us frustrated as fans, and I think the players looked frustrated. Lucas should have been sent off. Quite obviously, should have been sent off. It was a clear kick out at a player as he's running away from.
If that was any other time in the game, it was a yellow card.
Yeah, but it
wasn't even yellow. He'd have got a yellow.
It wasn't even like he should have had a yellow earlier. There was a series of fouls.
But
that one, but that one was a clear trip on a player who's running away from him. It's a deliberate foul, and it's a yellow card, and it's a sending off. And what made it worse, Brendan Rodgers basically laughed at him by just going, right, you're off. A minute later, he laughed at him, you know, and Atkinson was terrible all day. And I know we always make excuses about referees, especially in derby games, but he was awful, and it was just pedantic nonsense. Like the ones you mentioned in the first half, the Emre Can. Why did he book Emre Can or Ross Barkley? Why did he have to? Why did you say something? Listen, you're a pair of idiots. Behave. Emre Can, you're pretending you're hard because your fans are there. You wouldn't have done that in front of the Gladys Street. You've just tried to move Ross Barkley and couldn't move him. So don't even. How did you say? Just go, lads.
3 shots and he didn't. It was like, he'll go in a minute.
Just go, lads. Go in a minute. Behave yourselves. I'm not going to book Ivy's. Just behave yourselves. It was just pathetic all day.
You want to see a referee be consistent as well.
Yeah.
There were things in the game which were just remarkable. The one that stands out for me was when McCarthy tried to take a quick free kick and he stopped him because I think the ball was moving a little bit, and then Coutinho, you could see the ball rolling, and he took it, and they nearly threw on
goal. It was only for the amazing Foons Mori sort of slide.
I just think that's just blatant inconsistency. You know, I'm not suggesting he's biased for 1 minute. But, you know,
no,
I just think
a cheat.
I just think he's just, you know, I've always said I think him and Lee Mason are the two most incompetent referees in the league, and he didn't know to change his mind.
Let's be honest, he shouldn't have been anywhere near Everton after the derby. After the Rodwell thing, Everton should have said.
I think when it was announced in the week that he was going to be the ref, we all said,
but Everton should have.
And we expected it, and he didn't let us down because he was terrible. He was just.
But you know, you made a point there. It's the whole Clattenburg thing, isn't it? No one can say to me that it wasn't because of the strong protest about Clattenburg that we never had them for what was it, like 7 years? Yeah. We never had them for like 7 years or 6 years, whatever it was. You know, that wasn't a coincidence. You know, it took so long. It should be the same with Atkinson. The club now should be making it very, very known that this fella is not welcome at Goodison Park. And I know that shouldn't be sort of an issue, but it actually should have happened 5 years ago when he done the Rodwell thing, but it should be very clear that certain refs shouldn't be welcome.
Should we start a petition like the Arsenal fans did with Mike Dean?
Yeah.
Get it to Parliament.
Let's just burn effigies outside.
You know what? On the FA's part, there should be common sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the derby's going to be a powder keg anyway. Mm-hmm. Why, like the touch paper?
Well, as Martin said, it's like, did he feel like he couldn't send Lucas off in case he'd made a mistake because he'd made a mistake at Rodwell? Well, if there's anything like that hanging over anyone's head, don't let them officiate a game. Yeah. It's as simple as that. I know players there's a process, and you know no referee should be stopped from going anywhere and all that. But at the same time, common sense should prevail, and he proved yesterday he's incompetent and crap basically.
He is rubbish. And I remember him years ago booking Fellaini against Hull, and he missing that and things like that for nothing. The lad put his head down, he still couldn't wait to book him, and we've had loads with him, but the fact that he's had a derby before and made a mistake and everyone knows it got rescinded, he shouldn't have been allowed anywhere near. And then Everton have got to have some balls and say, we're not having him for the derby. He's done this to us before, we're not having him, and make a protest. And that's the way it is. And if the FA don't like it, tough. You know, it's about us, not about referees.
Correct.
You can't go into a game.
Even Carragher said, didn't he, on Sky, he bottled it. What more can you say?
Well, exactly.
That's the assessment, isn't it?
I just think that took the sting out of the game. That's when we were at our best. We'd had a couple of chances. We were putting pressure on them. And when that happened, the frustrations turned on the referee and the agony. And it was almost like the fans suddenly went, you know what, this is going to happen again, isn't it? This is going to... There was one with Sacco on Lukaku, and in real time, it looked like it could have been a penalty. You know, Sacco might have got something on the ball. And again, it was just like, yeah, this is happening again to us. And I think that almost took it took that little bit of edge out of the ground. It certainly didn't help.
And when you've got a defensive midfielder playing against you can just, you know, kick your players running through a goal and stop attacks. Yeah. And when that's a key part of your game, which it has been this season, well, it robs us of
Martin said, didn't he? He made lots of clever fouls. Whereas, you know, Barry gets booked for them things straight away. McCarthy got booked for something innocuous, absolutely innocuous. And
I think it was Lucas who done Naismith, wasn't it? And didn't get the booking. And then McCarthy done one that wasn't as bad. And the card's out immediately, and you're like, you just take...
Just the inconsistency, like a yellow for a nothing tackle. And then a non-yellow for a blatant trip. It's just ridiculous.
You think Emre Can should have been sent off, don't you?
Well, I think if you go and letter of the law, I think kicking someone in the head is dangerous play. That's just my opinion. He's on a booking and he kicked Gareth. See, me personally, if I was the manager, my instructions to the players would have been, whenever there's anything going on, get round the referee immediately. And when Chan's been booked with Barkley, I'd have called, because listen, I don't care, I want Everton to be snide as snide. So I'd have called a couple of players over and said, go and get involved with Chan now, get him wound up. He's been booked. He's
touch his hair.
Touch that stupid grease he's got on his ears, it's divvy. But he kicks Gareth Barry in the head. Now, Everton should have had 3 or 4 players around him in his face there. Because, listen, I don't care, I want to win a derby by hook or by crook. I don't give a toss, because I hate them. So therefore, he booted them in the head. It wasn't one of them where he didn't make any contact. He kicked them in the head. Now, you can go on about overhead kick, but I've seen them.
I wouldn't have booked them, because I think if you start booking players for trying overhead kicks, where will the beautiful game end up?
Gone. You book them.
Do you know what was good though? Galloway, when the whole Barkley Carl thing was going on, he was over straight away having a go. Same sort of thing with Brown. He was over at the referee as well. So at least the young players, like you said, you know, got a bit more about them, a little bit more snide. I'm the same as you, you know. If we're gonna dive, and someone died in the last minute and won a penalty for us, and we won 1-0, I wouldn't be going on about, we've not run this the right way. I've made up we'd won,
Open top bus. But that's safe for them, isn't it, when they nearly win things 6 times and stuff. We haven't talked about, you know, the brilliant Liverpool goal.
Well, I was coming to it. Oh, don't worry, I was coming to it.
Waiting for it.
Oh, don't worry, I was coming to it. Well, obviously, you mentioned Naismith's header before. There was, you know, McCarthy's shot as well. The keeper. What is it about goalies? I watched Sunderland's goalie at the weekend. What's his name?
Ped Solomon.
No, the other one was in, wasn't he?
No, Ped Solomon was it?
No, was it the League Cup game last week?
Yeah, it was when he was in the League Cup.
And it was just he was absolutely abysmal. And I was thinking, remember that game when he was absolutely amazing against us?
Yeah.
And then you see him this week, and you've seen how many bad games he has, and then he pulls out saves like that. He pulled out saves a couple of years ago when we drew 3-3 with them. It's like, what is it about them? So you've got him in the other end pulling off save after save. You've got our goalkeeper not having to do much. And then when he's called on to do something, can someone explain to me what he's well, it's very clear what he's not doing.
His whole performance that first 45 minutes was absolutely appalling. I thought, not just in terms of that goal, the way he ran out at Milner rashly and dived in the box with his feet.
Yeah.
There was another one. There was another one on the other side, left footed, on the left hand side, when he came out with his feet again instead of just getting the ball. Liverpool had the corner. He rolled the ball out to Brendan Galloway under pressure 2 times.
And Mori.
With 3 men around him. And you look in a game like that, we've got a lot of young players in the team, and some lads there who played in the first derby game. And your experienced players should be taking the pressure off. Yeah, someone like him should be coming and getting crosses. Should be being decisive in his distribution, stopping the ball with his hands in the box. And to do what he did for the header was just. You know, he could have come out and headed it himself. He was that close to it. It's unforgivable goalkeeping. Terrible.
I agree, Mac. He should have just come, taken the ball, and the man if need be.
Yeah.
Just take, and his own player, just come and take the whole lot. Take the ball. game is dead. Carry on.
What's happened to old-fashioned goalkeeping? I mean, rewatched it last night and I stopped it right on the moment. And you've got Danny Ings in the middle of the goal, and you've got 5 Everton players around him. Ross Barkley was awful marking. It was awful. That's fine. We can say that's awful. But your goalkeeper should be coming and just taking the ball and taking anything with it. Do you know what? Tim Howard could have fell over, dropped that ball, and there wouldn't have been a Liverpool player anywhere near him. There would have been an Everton player to kick it away. But why isn't he just coming out and either punching it or catching it, or like you just said, you could head that away. It takes the pressure off everyone, and it gives him a little bit of confidence. He said every time they throw a corner in now, he's going to come out and catch it. It happened at West Brom in the week. Same thing. He could have took the first corner. He could have took the second corner. And what happens is, if anyone's playing football, you defend. If you've got to defend that deep, no matter where you head it to, it's still in the danger zone. And I don't understand why Roberto Martinez lets him get away with it. Because if he's not there to catch it, he can't save it. That's proved by Danny Ings. His reaction time is not going to be quick enough to stop a header like that.
But it's basic, isn't it? It's 3 foot off the line. So it's a catch for... Don't forget, he jumps a foot and his hands are up. So he's catching at 9 foot. No, I'm sorry, but there's no player apart from that Sayori that we had who could probably get 9 foot. So it's a comfortable catch. But, I grew up watching Neville Southall and train with him, mate, and off corners. He wouldn't even look at the ball. If you stood by him, he'd just punch you. And so, as a centre forward, you'd look and go, you've seen how many... Nev used to just clear you out, didn't he? Yeah. He'd just take everyone out. Because what referee, if he goes into Ings and takes Ings, he's not going to give a penalty away. He's going to give a free kick to Everton. Yeah. So, I don't understand what he's doing. Barkley, poor marking, of course it is. Jags can see it as well, and he should be instructing. There's one, like Ped said, there's one Liverpool player in the 6-yard box and 5 or 6 with Howard. Everton players, and he heads it in. It's embarrassing.
It even suggests to me, the way they only had one player in that box, that they were expecting that kind of thing to happen, that even if a defender had headed it away, they had players on the edge of the box to get the second. They didn't pack our 6-yarder, which would suggest to me that they did it on purpose because they knew Tim Howard wasn't going to come.
Do you remember, was it the 3-3? A few years ago when Coutinho scores off the corner and it's almost
the same.
Copy.
It goes over his head.
1 or 2 and he's there and just knocks it in.
It's not in his game to come and get the ball. Jump, take the ball,
basic, Joe. Yeah.
It's basic. It should be, but it's not in his game. 3 yards out. He should be taking Barkley, the ball, Ings.
He can punch it, can't he?
You see the top goal. You look at someone like Courtois. I mean, they know that if they know that even if they go for it and they don't get it, if a player blocks it off, even sometimes if you don't play the referees, it's so muddled and so hard to see in there. They just usually blow up, and give a foul anyway. So it's just so.
You know what? If he'd have come and missed it and Ings headed it in, I'd have gone, all right, it's a howl at that, but at least he's made a decision to try and come and get it. Yeah. Stood on the line. Like you said, you can't react. If you're this close to me, how can you react?
Proved he can't react. I've seen Hart, I think it was either last season or the season before, and he was coming to his penalty spot and catching it. And then suddenly, Man City are away. They're away. He's on the front foot. And
that's one thing that...
The box is his. No one can touch him in that box. Nobody.
One thing that Robles has got over him, and I know a lot of people don't like Joel, but he'll come and make a decision.
Brilliant at that, yeah.
He punches too much. He needs to start catching.
It's out of box.
He comes and does something with it. Yeah. He gets it away from his goal.
If he was there yesterday, that ball would have been on the halfway line.
Yeah, they just got it. He'd either caught it up.
What makes it worse is, though, the last 10 minutes, I felt like we were knackered the last 10 minutes. I felt like it was an up and down game and anything could have happened. And they got a couple of corners, and I was just thinking, what if that happens now?
Yeah,
what if some of them just gets a really good delivery in and they pack the box? Because as we've just been saying, it's not the case that someone can get a header like that goal. It's the second ball. You can't. It proved that last week on the West Ham one, the West Brom one. We cleared the first one and it went out for a second corner because you can't clear it far enough unless you get a decent flick back header. Liverpool were obviously anticipating the second ball. He's so inconsistent. He was poor last season and he's gone up to inconsistent this year. We were supposed to have lads on today from Everton USA. I'm fully understanding why they ducked it now, because obviously we had them on last year and they love him to bits, and I understand why they love him to bits. He's one of their own, they won't have anything bad said about him, but I will, because I just don't think he's good enough.
I just think the frustrating thing for me is that we give them a goal. If they'd worked a good goal and scored, you'd have gone, that's good, that. But we give them a goal at the time when it was just beginning to turn. Everton were just beginning. Like you said before, Matt, it took them 35 minutes to go. Hang on, these actually aren't all that. And we had the header by Naismith, we had the shot by McCarthy, we had a couple of little things where it just didn't quite come off, and they break. Deulofeu gives the ball, they get a corner and a winning one, and you're like, you haven't really done anything, and we've gifted them a goal, you know, and you just...
Like Matt said earlier, it's that mental block when it comes to Liverpool. We just can't. When we played Chelsea, and we just went at.
But it's things like that that play into it, isn't it? It's the worry, and you can feel it in the ground. The last couple of minutes when they got corners, my nerves were on edge because I'm thinking all I need to do is put a decent ball in that box. We've seen it, and look, listen, this is not about Tim Howard. This is about the whole team on corners. We're pretty abysmal on defending set pieces. Well, clearly it's not. You only have to look at Ross Barkley's, marking for the last couple of weeks. See how bad we are.
That's something we need to change. I think now it's. I can see the benefits of leaving someone up and someone like Lukaku up, but someone as big as him, as good in the air as him, I think he should be back.
Do you know what we don't do well is, and this happens all the way down in amateur football. You get your players like your Jags, you get your Foons, Moris, and you put them in the areas where the ball is most likely to go. Or someone can't score in header from like the penalty. Well, they can, but you know what I mean.
It's got to be a great ball.
You think there yesterday, if Foons Mori is standing where Barkley is all his defensive mindset is to win that ball and get rid of it. With Barkley, he's not. He's a kid. He's not a defender, and that's the danger zones. Where's he? Where's Jags?
Jags or Mori to get in there. Take Barkley out. Jack Yacker should have said this, right, you get over there. There's only one player in the box.
But they were marking their centre halves, weren't they?
But their players are not in the danger zone.
No, but I'm saying...
They never ran into the box. Like they're waiting on the second ball.
That's what they're doing. But if you don't work on set pieces, it's not going to come. And I think the thing is, would that have happened in Liverpool's 6 yard? I'm slating Liverpool's back five, saying they're diabolical, because they are. Everyone proves it that. Get Steady, or however you said his name, Rudy Gestead, or whatever he's called for Villa. Proved last week, if you put crosses in, they're all over the place. Everton wouldn't have had that situation. We wouldn't have took a corner and had one man in the 6 yard box and had a free header, because their keeper, as much maligned as he is, would have come and made the decision.
And takes the ball 3 yards out. Simple. It's a keeper's job. If it's in 3 or 4 yards, come, take the ball, take the man. Like you said, if he budges it, you get a free kick. Simple.
You mentioned Joel there. Remember the Crystal Palace game last season?
Brilliant.
He's in goal. We're playing a team now. At the time, they loved bombing it into the box. They were great actually at the second, but they were great at second balls, weren't they? That's where they were great at. They bombed it in the box and they got the second ball. And Joel all day just kept on coming out and taking it, and it gave everyone so much confidence. And you just thought, even in the last minute they were doing it, but by that time Joel was just one-handed catches by then. He's been the old
even in the derby at Goodison last year, he come and took a lot of crosses and stuff, and there was never any real danger. They were putting, he was coming and taking it.
We talk about this with Howard, and I suppose people band together. There's no point talking about it because he's not going to do anything. But that to me is that's a big issue for the manager. The fact that he's not taking him out of the team, and he's Joel. He comes in for our cup game every now and then. And he looks dodgy because.
He plays one game.
Whereas he came into the team last season and he did all right. He did good. Kept 3 or 4 clean sheets, and it just worries me.
When we needed it.
It just worries me that he can see these flaws. And I know Howard got player of the month early in the season, but I'm not really sure.
For stopping. Well, the problem is we have games like the Spurs game, or even times in the Man City game where he makes these saves. Where the shots are right at him, and then when he makes an absolute howler, people go, well, didn't you see the saves he made? And Spurs, there was a one-on-one, wasn't it, Harry Kane, I think it was. Yeah. And Harry Kane hit it straight at him. Now, okay, last season...
Did one good save.
Last season he would have done the all-starfish thing and it would have gone in, but he gets away with murder, I think. And yeah, okay, he makes some good saves, but it's the inconsistencies.
I seen someone say a save from Coutinho was brilliant. Yesterday I was thinking...
Was that the one when he patted it down?
Oh, he pushed it!
Just went like that.
Did you forgot about that?
Just hit it and bounced down. I was thinking, wasn't brilliant.
It wasn't
It,
brilliant.
it actually hit him better than him.
And if there'd been someone standing on the 6-yard box, they would have had a tap in.
Yeah.
You're like, I mean, look, like Matt said, we talk about, we can all see it, but the manager can't. And I don't know whether it's because he's too big a personality in that Everton dressing room or whatever, but, you know, and Joel, as a goalkeeper, you can't play once a month, every 6, and look like you're the best goalie in the world. It just takes games.
It's just annoying that, you know, okay, our goal wasn't brilliantly worked. It was a brilliant finish, but it wasn't brilliantly worked. They've cocked up. But it does seem like teams don't need to work that hard to score against us. You know, we've got 3 goals in a week, haven't we? To teams, we've given them goals. You know, and
even better, you know, was on the other day.
That's what I'm saying.
He lays on the floor, doesn't he? Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't look. He's been okay. He's been better than he was last season.
That's not much of a.
I still think
that's not much of a thing. No.
But I think if Everton want to do anything this season, and I'm talking win a trophy you know, the camera just nearly cracked them. But if that's what they want to do, or try and go after that top 4, you need your goalkeeper to be top class. You know, and we haven't got a top class keeper, and unfortunately, they're the things that make the difference. And Tim Howard will have games when you look and go, oh, what a performance. But they are few and far between. He will make a good save in a game and then throw one in his net, and he's done that quite consistently.
It's his overall distribution as well. Like if he catches a ball or picks up a ball, he rolls it out too early. Like you said, a couple of times he actually put Galloway under pressure. Serious pressure. And his good brain got him out of trouble. Mori as well. He gave him the ball yesterday. It should have went nowhere near him.
Yeah, you're spot on, because at a time, Matt said it before, in that opening half an hour when they were on top, because they you know, wasn't backs to the walls, but they had the ball. One of their attacks would break down, and you're thinking, like, slow it now. You know, we have got young Galloway there, and Mori, let everyone get settled, and then we can get our shape, and he'd throw it out, and he'd be back on the attack, and you're thinking, slow it down, slow the game down, but...
you mentioned Mori there. I mean, obviously the back four's a bit disjointed at the moment. Mori's come in for the last couple of games, and obviously Galloway and Brown. But after, you know, people being a bit dismissive of him, I was a little bit myself about Mori. But you ask him to defend, and the lad can defend.
He's really, he's impressed me. I've really liked him so far. I think he's dead combative, isn't he? You can tell he loves the physical battle.
Yeah.
And that's something that seems to have served him well in the league. It's good that he's left-sided as well. It gives us a nice balance there. And I put a bet on to score yesterday. I thought he's got Cull Hero.
Not for 40 yards, he's not.
He's got Cull Hero written all over him. Yeah, but he's that type of player as well. Fans will gravitate to him only because you can see he's passionate. He loves getting stuck in. And his reading of the game was brilliant yesterday against someone like Sturridge, who, you know, he's just come back from injury, but you see him against Villa. He's in good form. He looks sharp. So... as far as I'm concerned, he had a brilliant game. He probably wasn't far off man of the match in my eyes.
Sturridge didn't get a kick.
No.
I thought, for me, Jagielka was man of the match because I thought he was...
He's definitely. You look at him now, and you just think you have got a mistake, and you know. I don't mean that like in a defensive way. Yeah. He just gets the ball sometimes. You think, oh, where are you gonna go with this ball now?
Imagine when he scores, though. When he scores, like you said, it's
the thing I like about him though is that, sorry, Joe, but there's clear potential there with him, and there's a foundation where. You can see they've looked at him and thought he's got a lot of good tools, he can do a lot of good things well. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's 24, just coming into a new league, and with a few refinements, he can be brilliant.
Do you know what the other thing as well, and I think it's a thing that, and it's not his fault, and it's no one's fault, but the problem we're going to have now at centre-half is we're just going to compare everyone to John Stones. Because John Stones has made playing centre-back sexy, and he's been the cool. It's the new thing, get it?
But you know, he's a footballing centre. Yeah. And Mori, like you said, he just does his job.
But that's what I'm saying. So people compare.
It's our trouble.
I think the good thing about him is that if Jags needs to go out the team for whatever reason, he can play left side and Stones can come back in. And there's obviously there's different ways of playing between the two. The only thing I was a little bit disappointed with him yesterday, he didn't start a fight. I wanted him to just. I just wanted him to go to fight with. I just wanted.
Danny Ings is fixing his hair.
There's probably nothing for him. You know, never played.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I thought. no, it's not a disappointment, but you're just thinking, your first derby game, just throw a lefty at someone.
Probably
You know
would have
what I
got
mean?
sent
I'll get
off.
sent off.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? You're thinking there might be a little bit of a little,
I don't think they've.
you know, just put the chest
I
out.
don't think they had anybody.
That's actually,
No.
but I tell you what, he actually showed a lot of composure for his first derby game. I know he's been in there before. He's played in the South American Champions League final. He's played against Boca. It probably was absolutely nothing to him. He's probably thinking, this is a derby. We're all patting each other on the back, and you know.
I'm used to getting bricks thrown at me.
Where's
and
the
a coat.
tifos and the
Yeah,
flares and
tifos.
stuff?
But
Pitch invasions. And everything.
yeah, I thought he did well. I thought the whole back four did well. But just to finish it off, the one player I was a little bit disappointed with yesterday was Ross Barkley. But it's a double-edged sword. This one, I just think if he played his own game, he would have had would have put much more of a stamp on it. But by trying to put a stamp on it, by being like, you could see he was like, I want to be the hero.
Too hard.
I'm an Evertonian. I just felt at times where if he'd been relaxed and gone, do you know what? If I just do what I normally do, I'll be the hero.
I thought he was pretty good. I thought he had
Shut
a
up,
good game.
man.
No,
I
No,
know.
I'll disagree. Oh, yeah.
No, you are. Of course you are. Of course you are. But I edit the videos, so no.
I'm gonna kind of agree with you. I thought he'd done okay. I think the problem with him, what let him down for me yesterday was Naismith, because
It's always Naismith's fault with you, isn't it?
No, I like Stephen Naismith, but I just don't like him out on that left hand side. I think what Ross
You just don't like food banks.
love him. You messing? You know. I think
You
that
hate homeless people.
I think that work with them, mate. I'm actually probably the only one who's in touch with them in this room or using it. Anyway,
You steal
I think
coats
Ross
off
Barkley.
people's dogs.
Who's at the meds, me or you? I think you've been sitting in the back of your cab at 5 o'clock in the morning with a few people, I think, and and I think Barkley is better, more sense. I think he would have conducted the game a bit more sensibly. I think he was asked to do more of a defensive job, I think, yesterday. And at the times when he got on the ball, he looked dangerous. It was his ball out wide to Browning that set the goal up with Delafeu. He had the good little run where he possibly should have threaded Lennon through, but had the shot. And I think he's trying to put that stamp. He wants to be our hero.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I'm glad he didn't. You know, the thing with Emre Can was brilliant because he just stood there and Emre Can tried to push him 3 times, and the side, you know, I can't get over the size of the lad. He's so big and physical, and he tried to push him, and it was just like, no lad.
Yeah, and then
No
words as
lad.
well.
No
No
lad.
lad.
Games like it's encouraging because last season games like that he would have been a shrink of violence, and he would have, you know, something like that. Emre Can when he got a yellow card, he would have become a lot more withdrawn in the game, not wanting the ball as much. But now, even though a lot of stuff didn't come off for him yesterday, he was always wanting the ball, always making runs forward.
No
and always
doubt
trying to
about
keep
it.
I
people.
think last year, if he'd have got booked, I'd have been worried he was going to get sent off.
Yeah.
Whereas yesterday, after he got booked, I just
Maybe
now
he's
he's mature.
Maybe
now,
he's
I don't think it'll
maybe he's
affect
just gone up more in my expectations. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I mean that.
been
hold him to a higher
He's
standard
been
now.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I
this
think we're
season.
waiting for him to be this diamond we see about, and he's not there yet. And we're just, like I said, it's an impatience from a fan's point of view, waiting for this.
I think there's an
Barkley we
impatience.
know is there.
I think there's an impatience within him though to be like, to take the glory. Do you know what I mean? You can imagine. You can imagine.
I like that though. I like
No,
that
that's what I'm
about
saying.
him,
If you're
yeah.
22, you're an Evertonian, you're in the derby. Some people have built it up as being like, you take the scruff. Even the lads here, the red men, were like, we're terrified of him. If he takes the game by the scruff of the neck, we're terrified of him. And I just think that there was times, yes, I mean, the one where he could have slipped Lennon in, and he took the shot on, and it just missed by a yard. But I think in the last few weeks, he would have slipped Lennon in there and showed a little bit more composure and a little bit, you know, showed that he'd grown up a little bit more and grown into football games. But yesterday, I just think it opened up for him in his head and just thought, I'm going to be the hero here.
I love that though, because
No,
I think
but
we should have played.
But that's why it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword,
There's
isn't
no
it?
question.
That's why it's a
He should have-
double-edged sword.
He should have threaded Lennon through because
Yeah.
he would have been in on goal. But I can see at Derby soon that he's gonna do it. And
Yeah.
he's gonna crack
Hopefully
on
at
it, and
Anfield.
hopefully it'll be at the cop.
We've
Yeah,
never had one. I mean, I don't even know if you'll remember it, but Rooney, when he first come on at Anfield, he come on and the first thing he did was smack the bar,
didn't he? Yeah.
and you were just like, oh, it was. I think it ended up 0-0,
the
didn't it?
second thing because he clattered Kirkland.
Oh yeah, but you're just thinking, you're just waiting for a Scouse
We
lad
want that, don't we?
to to win a derby for us.
We had
re-
Franny last score, not the Annie Road.
Franny
we had to score.
Yeah, Franny giving it all
First
up.
derby, we got beat 3-2.
Yeah,
Scored,
we did,
didn't
yeah. But you're just waiting for it, Scouse lad, who's a blue 3.
Let's be honest,
Ty
we're waiting
Brown
for
only
Steven
scored, didn't
Gerrard, aren't we?
Tice Browning's header was on its
Yeah,
way in. I thought
yeah.
that was going to be it, yeah. But
Well, that's
Mingele
it.
would have put a
That's it,
finger
aren't we? We're waiting for our own Steven Gerrard that they're going to be terrified of. And that might be the thing that swings the psychological thing.
Yeah.
It might be that player that they fear. And I don't think that would have gone through Ross Barkley's head, but it'd be great if we had that.
You know what though? You know what? I'll give him loads of credit for. Yeah, of course he should have passed Lennon in. Of course he should have, but he made a decision, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was running, and you knew that and like you said, but when you look back at the shot, Mingele had it covered.
Yeah.
But he could have cracked it like he did against Watford, and he could have arrowed into that top corner, and we wouldn't have been. We'd have still been dancing on the road now, wouldn't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Never mind.
It will come.
Yeah.
It'll come one day. Right, we've done the derby to death. If you didn't see all my videos last week, Baz was off his head somewhere in a gutter. If you've seen all my videos last week, go back and watch the
National Health isn't the gutter. Who do you think you are? It's the Cameron.
Sorry, mate. I wasn't actually talking about the national health. I was talking about the
Get a bit serious.
I was talking about the actual gutter. God, you start a debate on free schools next at all times. Right, if you go back and watch all our bubble footy games, me and Baz Light there behind the camera, we took the Reds on, and let's be honest, we smashed them to bits. Go back and watch all them. Make sure you leave all your comments below on YouTube. Make sure you get in touch with us on Toffee TV 1 on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe. We've done the 5,000. Now we want the 6,000.
6K.
Make it happen, lads. 6K. Make it happen. Big thanks to Joe from the Irish Toffees for coming over, and our mugs as well, because they are amazing.
Nice
Top
one.
work, Joe. For Matt, as always, for coming down. This has been Toffee TV. We'll see you soon.